Good morning from a climb up Mount Cube. Beautiful view this morning. Lots of climbing to go. So here we are at the top of South Mount Cube. 2,909 feet. It seemed like it was Mount Everest. Good little climb. Absolutely gorgeous. If the clouds weren't there, we think we could see the whites. Pretty spectacular views though, nonetheless. Even with the cloud cover. Checking in later. Well, good Wednesday morning from the ridge between the summits of South Mount Moosilauke and North Mount Moosilauke. I'm in a little tree line here, so I'm buffeted. I mean, I'm shielded from the winds, so I thought you'd be able to hear me a little better. Moosilauke's climb, absolutely no joke. Wow. Moosilauke is one of the highest peaks in New Hampshire. I didn't know that until we started doing a little research yesterday before we began our climb, and it's just like most of these mountains in New Hampshire. It's straight up, rock scrambles and everything. Plan today is to finish this summit. The descent on the other side is supposed to be brutal and very dangerous, so I'm going to take my time getting down, but I'm going to narrow at the Notch Hostel in Glen Cliff, I think it is, New Hampshire, get a little resupply, and then tomorrow we start our like 16-mile final hike to Franconia Ridge, which is officially where our white hike begins, hike into the whites. I'm going to close this down for the time being. I don't know that we're going to get any summit views because it's pretty cloudy. I suspected that starting early, but I want to get up and over as early as possible. I thought maybe miraculously there might be a opportunity to see a sunrise this morning, but well, you can see it's way too socked in for that. All right, I'm going to check in later. So navigation in the whites, because you're above tree line so much, oftentimes it's just rock fields, and oftentimes you can't really see that well. It's by these cairns, these big stacks of rocks. I could see one off in the distance a second ago. That kind of helps you stay on semblance of course. This trail is pretty obvious, but I know when the boys and I climbed Franconia Ridge and the Presidentials, there were times you had no idea where the trail was, so you just follow the stacks of rocks. If Pam were still here, she'd tell us those are the Ebenezers. Remember when Joshua and the Israelites crossed the Jordan? God told them to put a stack of stones by the Jordan as a reminder that he had led them across the Jordan into the promised land, and they were to call that stack of stones Ebenezer. And I believe it meant God will provide or God will sustain. I have to go back. There's a great line from one of my favorite hymns. Here I raise mine Ebenezer, hither by thy grace I come. Anyway, there's another cairn. Sometimes, of course, depending upon how thick the cloud cover is, sometimes they're easy to see, sometimes they're hard to see. There's another one straight ahead. So, those are my Ebenezers this morning. My reminder of God and of Pam. Oh, I guess this is a good carding moment too. Sometimes all we need is just a little reminder of God's grace and God's presence to get us through a difficult time. Praise God. Well, this is the official summit of Mount Moosilauke, 4,802 feet. That's 1,800 feet lower than Mount Mitchell, but it feels 10,000 feet higher. I guess it's this whole above tree line thing. Here's a plaque that says, in memory of Dick Sanders, Dartmouth, Moosilauke Summit Camp, President of Dartmouth Outing Club. It says, the still north remembers him, the hill winds know his name, and the granite of New Hampshire keeps a record of his fame. Dedicated in 1958 by his family and friends. That's pretty cool. And once again, as is typical of me, because I was so enamored with the summit of Mount Moosilauke, I completely forgot to look for the 1800 mile marker. The summit of the North Peak of Mount Moosilauke is 1799.9 miles. So obviously 1/10 of a mile past that summit, somewhere in that cloud bank, probably around one of those little cairns, was the 1800 mile mark. So I'm officially over 1800 miles, which means I have less than 393.1 miles to go. That's pretty sweet. Check it in later. So I want you to see what we're hiking up and down. I don't know if you can make it out. This is about a 70% downgrade. Maybe looking to the side, stream down there. This is straight up. Now fortunately I'm coming down this hill. The southbounders have to climb this beast. But these rocks are sharp, slippery. This is Eliza Brook coming down the backside of Mount Moosilauke. If you can see, basically the trail is this steep. I mean, just go, it plummets right down the mountain. We've been descending now for about 2.5 miles, maybe close to 3 miles. We're probably a mile or so from the base. It's been a slog. This dangerous hike. A lot of slippery rocks, a lot of roots. You just have to be careful. I'm gonna have to put this away. I'm gonna wind up breaking my leg. But I thought you'd want to see the trail. So this is my Thursday afternoon, just after lunch view. Climbing up Eliza Brook Spring. Climbing up the Kinsman's. Going to be a tough afternoon, but going to be rewarded with a stay in the Lonesome Lake Hut. Looking forward to that. We'll get dinner and breakfast package, so should be a lot of fun. Thought you might want to see the trail. As usual, a lot of rock scrambling. We'll have this all the way up to Kinsman's and all the way down the backside. But I thought this waterfall would be beautiful. Later. So we've started our climb up the backside of South Kinsman. Whew, this is a slog. And the mud has picked up again. We're in these mud bogs. And they've got these little wooden rails down. But they're completely underwater. So, gonna be a slog for a while. Slog and a rock scramble. That's what the whites are all about. It's brutally hot today too. It's like 92 degrees. Supposed to be really hot again tomorrow, but then after that, thank the Lord, it's supposed to get back in the 70s. So we can make one more big push after today up into Franconia Ridge. Once you get up a tree line up there, there's usually a good breeze. So even if it's hot tomorrow, we should have decent weather. Better put this away. I'm going to break my leg. This is, believe it or not, one of the easier sections of South Kinsman. Man, this has been a brutal climb. This is as bad as anything I've ever done in the Whites. And I've still got climbing to go. Lord be with me. We're still not quite to the top, but this is our payoff so far. Kind of spectacular. Oh, there's the town of Lincoln. You can see that red roofed building. It's like the Riverfront Inn or something like that. That's right there in town. That's where we stayed yesterday. Whew! I'm not joking, buddy. This is a climb. It's beautiful, though. Well, here's the beauty shot. Payoff from all that climbing. Yeah, that probably is Moosilauke because there's Lincoln. Mount Moosilauke, we think, is that one right there. I'll check Peak Finder in a sec to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. So that means all those are the whites over there. I guess if we could see beyond Kinsman, we'd be able to see Mount Washington. Later. So this is one of the most spectacular views I think that we've had so far. That's actually directly in front of us is Franconia Ridge, and you can see where the trees end in the mountain basically continues. We'll be hiking up that tomorrow, and you'll see that the views from up there are just unbelievable because you're above tree line. Down there is Lonesome Lake, and we're going to be staying at the hut there tonight. Looking forward to that. And I will capture many more views tomorrow, Lord willing. Well, good Friday morning from the trail. This is Lonesome Lake. Stayed at the Lonesome Lake hut last night. Nice stay. Great meal. Beautiful morning. It feels great this morning. It's probably in the high 60s. Relatively low humidity this morning. Got a big long hike this morning. Got to get up on to Franconia Ridge. I got about 3 miles before we get to the road. And the ridge trail starts about a mile after that. So, going to be a big, hard morning, but I hope that it's going to be sunny and we're going to have some views from up on top of Franconia Ridge. So, I'll check in later. So, good morning again. It's Friday morning, about 7:52. I've made it down the mountain and I'm getting ready to cross under Interstate 93. This is significant because this is exactly where John and I and Joe entered our White Mountains excursion 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. We got off the interstate right up there and we walked down this little connector trail, and then suddenly we were on the AT heading into the Whites. So I remember, so all of this territory for the next 50 miles or so I've already hiked. I'm familiar with this. That doesn't mean it's going to be any easier, but it does mean I know something about it. Kind of excited about it. I'm so excited about the views from Franconia Ridge. I hope it's not socked in with clouds because I really want to be able to share that with you. This is where I started vlogging that White Mountain hike. I remember hiking through here. The boys were a little behind me. They were doing some gear tune-ups and everything, and I thought perhaps they'd gone the wrong way, or maybe even that I had gone the wrong way, but they caught me pretty quickly. We headed off, so I'll keep you with me throughout the day. Again, hoping and praying for beautiful skies and for strong legs. I tell you, knees are hurting this morning, but here we go. Well, I'm on the backside of the scramble at Franconia Ridge. I believe that's Mount Liberty right in front of us. Not sure about the one to the left. Pretty spectacular, huh? Still hazy, but we're still getting some views, thank the Lord. Later. So, see if you can tell me why I love the White Mountains so much. Look at this view. Holy cow, this is gorgeous. Yeah, these mountains are brutal. They are such tough climbing. Gosh. And look, that's Lincoln. The big peak on the horizon. We'll be climbing this whole ridge line today and into the afternoon. We'll descend down the backside and head to Garfield and stay at Galehead Hut. Later. Dadgummit, I missed it again. This is the view from the top of North Lincoln, looking at Lafayette at this beautiful, beautiful vista. Unbelievable. I'll have lunch shortly. There's Lonesome Lake, where we stayed. Oh, I gotta go up right there. Where we stayed last night. So made it from there. Plan tonight is probably to go to Galehead Hut, so I'll check in later. Well, this is the view from the top of Mount Garfield, looking back on Franconia Ridge. So that's North Lincoln, Lafayette, North Lafayette, Little Haystack, Liberty. We came down that ridge line and down in this saddle. We came right back up this mountain. Gosh, I didn't remember this being such a tough climb. Whew. I do remember, John and Joe will remember, I pointed out when we got up here the last time that we had, to northbounders that were coming through potentially, that we had come through a field of trees along the trail, probably 200, 300, maybe 400 trees that we had to navigate because they'd had a massive storm like the week before we came through, and the trees were still on the trail. It was, wow, it was such a pain in the rear. But Mount Garfield, about 4,500 feet. I got to go down Garfield, a little bit of climb back up to Mount Galehead, and then the Galehead Hut, just 3.1 miles. So that's where I'm going to spend the night. Looking forward to it. There's some kind of chicken for dinner tonight, and you know me, I love chicken. Checking in later. So when I tell people that on the AT in New Hampshire, you hike down waterfalls, this is what I mean. This is the trail, and we are going straight down this waterfall. So the stream and the trail are one. You gotta be careful. Dangerous climbing. Beautiful views, but dangerous climbing. Later. Well, good Saturday morning from the top of North Twin Mountain. Completely socked in this morning, as we expected. The sun's trying to burn through the clouds. It's just after 8. That's about a 9/10 of a mile climb straight up the mountain, as per usual in the Whites, and we'll be in southern Maine. I did about just over 30 minutes, so I don't feel too bad about that. Close to 2 miles an hour. Plan today, mostly descent down to Ethan Pond Shelter. It's only 11.6 miles, so we're hoping it'll be a relatively easy day. We need to recover from yesterday, which was brutal. And hoping, when Joe and John and I were there last time, Ethan Pond Shelter had all kinds of moose signs, so hoping to see a moose today. Once again, one of the reasons I love the Whites. Look at this. Look at this. So on the horizon over there, that's Franconia Ridge. That's where we came from yesterday. I think that's Galehead Mountain directly in front of us, and the hut was right at the base of Galehead Mountain. So we've come up and over, you can see it, up and over that ridge, and we plummeted down, down, back around, and back up, and back to here. It's the first view I've had this morning, and it is breathtaking. Thank you, Lord. Well, these are the Zealand Falls. They're beautiful. Nothing large about them or awe-inspiring, but they're beautiful. We're going to break for lunch at the Zealand Hut, which is probably a 1/10 of a mile or so. Then we'll make the final push for Ethan Pond Shelter. It's a good day so far. Dadgummit, once again, I thought I was filming and I wasn't. This is Ethan Pond. This is where Jonathan and Joseph and I stopped for a late lunch before heading down to Crawford Notch. We thought we saw moose signs and thought we saw a moose, but we don't really know. But there's no moose this afternoon. Beautiful though, getting cooler, looking forward to some cool weather. Later. Well, good Sunday morning from the trail, and I was just telling my friends, this is the closest thing I've seen on the East Coast to the view from Yosemite Valley when you get up to the base of Half Dome. This is absolutely spectacular, just breathtakingly beautiful. See the road down there, the lake, visitor center. I guess, no, that's probably the Pemigewasset River. But look at that valley view. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? That looks just like the view from Half Dome. That side of the mountain right there would be cut off, but you still have that amazing valley view all the way through. Oh my gosh. That would be El Capitan over there. Oh, I don't want to leave here. This is remarkably beautiful. Later. Alright, it's freezing cold, so I'm not going to take long, but look at this view. Pretty much 360 all the way around. I think that's the end of our climb for today, that climb. I've already shown you most of that, but thought I'd give you another perspective. Okay, later. So I just want to give you some idea of what we're hiking up today. Now we're at about 2.5 miles. We've already climbed up a massive side of a mountain. We get up there, and as we're hiking along the edge of the mountain, these cliffs, you have to hike up these sheer rock faces. And it's really like mountain climbing, or rock climbing at least. We've had probably 20 of these scrambles. There's probably another 15 to 20. That's why I tell everybody, the whites are brutal, dangerous hiking, but gosh, so epic. Just came off of that one. Some nice little stealth sites up here. Boy, if you wanted to spend the night up here, you'd have a beautiful view. I guess it would be your sunset. Okay, I'm gonna put this away and climb mountains. So I thought you might want to see what the forest looks like in the whites. The whites are considered a boreal, B-O-R-E-A-L, forest, which basically just means you have a thick covering of trees. And the sun doesn't really get in here much. So it creates a very temperate climate. So you have moss and just small undergrowth growing all through the forest. And it's almost exclusively fir trees, balsam fir trees, all around us. That's pretty much what it looks like on top of all of these alpine peaks up here. Then once you get up a tree line, of course, you have the little scrubby brush, but I'm not really sure what those bushes are called. Getting ready to make another big climb, so I better put this away. Gosh, I've loved this morning. God, you're so good. What a wonderful... I feel like I've been worshiping all morning on Sunday morning. I know I haven't been resting, but I have sure worshiped. Thank you, Lord. So there's our first view of Mount Washington. You can find it easily because it's got the observatory and the towers and everything on top. That's it. Second highest peak on the AT. We'll be up there, Lord willing, in the morning. Isn't this beautiful? Golly. Got like almost a 360-degree view this morning. I am loving this morning. I'm just so grateful. And we didn't have these views when the boys and I were here, so I'm just so grateful for these views. My goodness, it's beautiful. I could stay here all day, but got more miles to make. There's an even better view of Washington. Look how that beast rises above everything around it. It's about 800 to 900 feet taller than anything else around it. It's 6,400 or 6,500 feet. It's about 200 feet shorter than Mount Mitchell. And down there is Mitzvah Hut. We're going to grab some snacks there. And then up and over that ridge, behind Mitzvah, will be Lake of Clouds. So we're going to spend the night. Now, I'll take a lot of video of that, but another incredible view. I do not want to leave here. This is just so breathtaking. I'm awe-inspired. I'm just blown away by the Lord's creation. But I got to keep going. All right, it's freezing cold, so I'm not going to take long. But look at this view. Pretty much 360 all the way around. I think that's the end of our climb for today. That climb. I've already shown you most of that, but I'll give you another perspective. Okay, later. So I just want to give you some idea of what we're hiking up today. Now we're at about 2.5 miles. We've already climbed up a massive side of a mountain. We get up there, and as we're hiking along the edge of the mountain, these cliffs, you have to hike up these sheer rock faces. And it's really like mountain climbing, or rock climbing at least. We've had probably 20 of these scrambles. There's probably another 15 to 20. That's why I tell everybody, the whites are brutal, dangerous hiking, but gosh, so epic. Just came off of that one. Some nice little stealth sites up here. Boy, if you wanted to spend the night up here, you'd have a beautiful view. I guess it would be your sunset. Okay, I'm gonna put this away and climb mountains. So I thought you might want to see what the forest looks like in the whites. The whites are considered a boreal, B-O-R-E-A-L, forest, which basically just means you have a thick covering of trees, and the sun doesn't really get in here much. So it creates a very temperate climate. So you have moss and just small undergrowth growing all through the forest, and it's almost exclusively fir trees, balsam fir trees, all around us. And that's pretty much what it looks like on top of all of these alpine peaks up here. Then once you get up a tree line, of course, you have the little scrubby brush, but I'm not really sure what those bushes are called. Getting ready to make another big climb, so I better put this away. Gosh, I've loved this morning. God, you're so good. What a wonderful... I feel like I've been worshiping all morning on Sunday morning. I know I haven't been resting, but I have sure worshiped. Thank you, Lord. So there's our first view of Mount Washington. You can find it easily because it's got the observatory and the towers and everything on top. That's it. Second highest peak on the AT. We'll be up there, Lord willing, in the morning. Isn't this beautiful? Golly. Got like almost a 360-degree view this morning. I am loving this morning. I'm just so grateful. And we didn't have these views when the boys and I were here, so I'm just so grateful for these views. My goodness, it's beautiful. I could stay here all day, but got more miles to make. There's an even better view of Washington. Look how that beast rises above everything around it. It's about 800 to 900 feet taller than anything else around it. It's 6,400 or 6,500 feet. It's about 200 feet shorter than Mount Mitchell. And down there is Mitzvah Hut. We're going to grab some snacks there. And then up and over that ridge, behind Mitzvah, will be Lake of the Clouds, so we're going to spend the night. Now, I'll take a lot of video of that, but another incredible view. I do not want to leave here. This is just so breathtaking. I'm just blown away by the Lord's creation. But I got to keep going. So this is one of the many alpine bogs up here. Just these little areas where there's no tree growth. Just a little boggy, mucky, muddy area. And they built these nice little plank walks across them. You have to be careful. I've heard you step off of one of these things and get into the mud. It's basically up to your hip. I'm going to put this away though so I don't fall in and become one of those casualties. Well, I'm going to admit, it's so beautiful I just want to cry. It is just so beautiful. Good grief. Look at this amazing view, and there's Washington. God. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Franconia Mountain. Look at this. Is this epic or what? Waves blowing about 40 miles an hour. Clouds are just, they just move in and out almost instantly. I had a perfect view a second ago. Now nothing. Again, probably 30 seconds. I gotta keep going. It's so crazy. Okay, if you can hear me, that's Washington right in front of us. And you can see one of the lakes. Of the lakes of the clouds. Let me see if I can get up here toward the edge. Wind's still about 30, 35 miles an hour. Yeah, there's the other lake. Those are the lakes of the cloud. And then there's the hut. And there's what we'll just John and Joe, this is for you. The sign isn't blown over this time. And the skies are amazing and we can see for miles. I'm sorry guys, this is what we missed when we were here last time. It's so beautiful. And look, there's Washington. You know, we couldn't see it at all until we got almost to the summit. Look, this is amazing. Golly Pete. We could have come back together so you guys can see this. This is amazing. Later. Here we are, summit of Mount Washington. Completely different from when the boys and I were here last time. So, this is the backside. That's Mount Madison directly in front of us. We'll hike up and over, well, we'll hike up and over those 3 peaks. Then we'll go down and head to Pinkham Notch. But I wanted to show you directly in front of us, that railroad track is called the Cog Railway. And there's a train that comes from down in the valley up to the top of the mountain, brings visitors up. But then also, you can see right over there, there's a road. So you can drive up here as well. You don't have to hike up. You can take the train or you can drive up. Spectacular morning though, isn't it beautiful? Checking in later. So here comes the Cog Railroad. I'll let you see a little bit of it as it comes up over the crest. Tradition has it that thru hikers, because they're frustrated having had to climb up to the top of Mount Washington, are angry at the folks that are being transported up by train, and they would typically moon the train. In fact, I saw some guys I was kind of familiar with up at the observatory, and they had 7 or 8 that were going to moon the train as it came by. So I'm not near them. But there it is, there's the train. Climbing slowly up the mountain. Does it several times a day. Well, good Tuesday morning from the trail. This is looking south, back toward Vermont. I'm heading up Wildcat South. It's one of the steepest climbs we've had so far. It's just a lot of rock scrambling, a lot of hand over hand kind of stuff. I think that's going to be the pinnacle up there of south, and then we'll go to north, and then I think we have the Carters after that. Carters! I just got my little grandson. Nothing much to report this morning. It's cool, good crisp breeze. Feels really nice. Twisted my ankle this morning. It's the first time I've rolled my ankle on this whole trip, and boy, it hurt for a while, but I've kind of worked through the pain. Alrighty, I'm gonna check in later. Well, I confess I knew that Wildcat Mountain had a ski slope, but I did not know that we were coming up on it. This is the 3rd slope we've been up. You know, we were in Bromley and Killington in Vermont. Now we're in Wildcat here in New Hampshire. Kind of cool. Oh, wow, it feels great up here. 4,062 feet, the sign says over there. Washington right across the way. Right over there. 6,200 feet, so it gives you some perspective. That's Jefferson and Pierce, Monroe and Madison over there. I felt like it was incredibly slow going this morning, but I made a pretty good time. There's their ski hut. I don't know a lot about these ski slopes, but it just occurs to me that they'd want to do more to secure these things. They've got some pretty expensive gear just lying around. Of course, I guess, well, there has to be a road up here or some access up here, and that access would be the gondola. But there's also going to be some way to get equipment up here, so. But there we go, there's the gondola. Alrighty, checking in later. Well, this is kind of a beautiful view. Backside of one of the Wildcat peaks. Look at the falcon. Can you see him? I don't know if there he is. There's a couple up here. Absolutely gorgeous. I believe that's Carter Hut down there. Carter Notch Hut. That must be Carter Notch, obviously. And we're going to climb, that's probably the Carters right there. We're going to climb those, I'm sure. Just don't know how. Oh, well, we'll probably go down this ridge. Get down to the hut and then go back up and around. Whew, that's going to be a little climb, but it's what we expected. Later on. Well, good morning from the trail. It's about 5:55 a.m. I've been on the trail about 30 minutes. We've been hiking up and over the Carters. There's about four peaks of the Carters. Spent the night in the Imp shelter last night. Got on the trail this morning and gone close to a mile, I guess, up a little ridge line. Getting ready to climb Mount Moriah. One of my favorite inspirational songs years ago was Lay It Down at Mount Moriah, talking about the sacrifices we need to make sometimes. Moriah, of course, was the mountain that Abraham was called to sacrifice Isaac on. It's a reminder to us that everything that we have belongs to God, and our willingness to sacrifice those things to Him is what pleases Him. Look at this beautiful, beautiful view this morning. I've got about another 7 miles to the road, and I'm going to go in and take a long Nero in Gorham, New Hampshire. So I'll check in later.